Reliance has done in Q3 earnings. We saw that revenue missed estimates, but profit came in line with expectations. Let's go across to Mihika. She's done the research well for the company, and she has the numbers in hand with her. Mihika, tell us more about how Q3 has panned out for Reliance.
Consolidated basis, revenues are in line. It's a 4% uptick to 2.39 lakh crores. EBITDA is up 12% to over 43,780 crores, which has beat estimates. Margins are up 130 basis points at 18.2% versus an estimate of 17.2%. And net profit is also up 18.8 to over 18,540 crores, in line with estimates. In terms of key highlights, while top line growth was supported by retail and slightly impacted by lower O2C revenues, margins in O2C, oil and gas have recovered. However, other segments have seen somewhat of a drag on a quarter-on-quarter basis. Capex has declined 5% sequentially, but still remains higher. And lastly, there were no updates on the proposed commissioning of the solar PV gigafactory that has been awaited, as new energy is expected to be the future driver for the company. In terms of segment-wise performance, well, O2C, oil and gas, O2C revenue was down 4% to 1.49 lakh crores. The EBITDA has seen a quarter-on-quarter recovery. However, on an annual basis, it's declined because on softer cracks, and oil and gas revenue, however, is up 2% to over 6,370 crores. In terms of retail, we've seen broad-based growth recovery across all segments. Revenues are up 18%, and we've seen the benefits of the festive season demand as well as streamlining of operations come in. The number of stores have increased 1.7% year-on-year. Footfall has increased 5% year-on-year. Lastly, we have Jio, 3% quarter-on-quarter rise in revenue as well as EBITDA. Margins have contracted to 52.81%. And net profit has seen a 4% quarter-on-quarter uptick. Digital service business growth was in subscriber additions, and the net subscriber additions stood at 3.3 million. Growth was also supported by a favorable subscriber mix and higher user upgrades to 5G as per the company. And lastly, the tariff hike benefit was lower than expected. The average revenue per user stood at 203.3 rupees versus 195.1 rupees.
So much for breaking that down for us, Mihika. But with that, let's welcome in Gaurang Shah, Head Investment Strategist at Geojit Financial Services, who's joining us now. Gaurang, first of all, welcome to NDTV Profit and a very good afternoon to you. If you've read as to what has happened with Reliance, what are you making of Q3 earnings, and what is your view on that?
So, thank you so much for having me on the show. Good noon to all of you all. Prudent to give a disclosure first. We have a fundamental buy coverage on Reliance Industries. Numbers were out late evening. The team is working on it. The targets that we have set aside before we saw the Q3 numbers was in excess of 1,500. Revisions will take maybe another day or two, whether we would like to revise the target or not, but we are maintaining a positive stance. Looking at the numbers, well, I think there was a slight bit of miss on the revenue front. I don't think that's a huge negative. And I think as far as the solar giga business is concerned, as and when the development happens and it kicks out of ground level, I think you will have the announcement coming through from the management. And that will be, like your colleague was mentioning, a growth driver going forward from here on. Other than that, I don't think there were any kind of large misses of what we heard from Reliance Industries. And our sense is that as we go into the future earnings, fourth quarter as well as the new financial year, there would be better numbers to look at.